What's up, guys? Bible in a Year, episode 54. We're going to Deuteronomy 12 through 14 today. And honestly, what you're going to read in Deuteronomy 12 today it definitely it's absolutely vital to our understanding of the rest of the Old Testament. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Episode 54, Deuteronomy. I can't even speak today. Deuteronomy 12 through 14. Before we begin, Tanner says we are to like, share,
subscribe,
ring the bell. Tanner says when you ring the bell on YouTube, you'll get an alert saying when we have posted the video. So please do that for us. We're getting lots of views. I think Tanner said we've had like 5,000, what is it called? Unique views. 5,000 unique views for Bible in a Year. So yeah, it is huge. But guys, listen, just keep helping us out. Keep spreading the word. The more people that are studying the Bible, the better.
Yep.
Okay.
Amen.
So how you doing, Pastor James?
Not too bad.
Just got back from
Conference.
Youth
Ministry Conference in Florida, Leesburg, Florida, just outside Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Had a good time?
Yeah, great. Like I said, just there and networking and helping other youth leaders. And
Got to be getting all fired up.
So
Neon Nights, Friday night.
Yep.
Middle schoolers.
It's middle schoolers now.
Oh my gosh, the church looks like the 1980s.
Yep.
Video games everywhere.
Yep.
I'm excited. All right.
It's awesome.
We're already 2 minutes into the video, and we haven't talked about Deuteronomy 12 through 14.
We will.
So I, in preparation for each of these podcasts, I outline the chapters that we're going through, which has been so helpful for me just in my, my Bible study. But I will tell you, this morning in preparation, I outlined chapter 12 to the end of the book of Deuteronomy. There was not a chapter that I outlined that I was like, we can buzz through. No. Every chapter from here to the end has something.
It's significant.
Oh my gosh, has something of depth.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to read to you guys Deuteronomy 12, 1 through 14, because Deuteronomy 12, 1 through 14 is absolutely, I said this at the opening, it's absolutely vital to our understanding of the rest of the Old Testament, but not just to the rest of the Old Testament, but our Christian life in this Babylonian world in which we find ourselves today. So join me if you would, Deuteronomy 12, 1 through 14. We'll see how far we get in all of this today. Moses writes, "These are the decrees and laws you must be careful to follow in the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you to possess. As long as you live in the land, destroy completely all the places on the high mountains, on the hills, and under every spreading tree, where the nations you are dispossessing worship their gods. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, burn their Asherah poles in the fire, cut down the idols of their gods, and wipe out their names from those places. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way." No compromised worship.
Yep.
"But you are to seek the place the Lord your God will choose from among all your tribes to put his name there for his dwelling. To that place you must go. There bring your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithes and special gifts, what you vowed to give in your free will offerings, and the firstborn of your herds and flocks. There in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your family shall eat and shall rejoice in everything you have put your hand to, because the Lord your God has blessed you. You are not to do as we do here today, everyone doing as they see fit, since you've not reached the resting place and the inheritance the Lord your God is giving you. But you'll cross the Jordan and settle in the land your God is giving you as an inheritance, and he will give you rest from all your enemies around you so that you'll live in safety. Then to the place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling place for his name, there you are to bring everything I command you, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithes and special gifts, and all the choice possessions you vowed to the Lord. And there rejoice before the Lord your God. you, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites from your towns who have no allotment or inheritance of their own. Be careful not to sacrifice your burnt offerings anywhere you please. Offer them only at the place the Lord will choose in one of your tribes, and there observe everything I command you. So here is why this is so vitally important to the rest of the reading of the Old Testament and where we find ourselves today. God is telling his chosen people who are on the east side of the Jordan River, I have kept you in my complete care, like it's like guarding a baby in a playpen. I've watched you. I've now I'm gonna give you a little. I'm gonna give you a little rope.
Yep, little
I'm gonna give you a little freedom. I'm gonna give you a little. Let's see what you do with it. No more manna. No more water from the rock.
Yep.
No more the cloud and the fire.
Yep.
You're not. I mean, I'm not going to tell you when to move. I'm not going to tell none of these things. You're going to plant on your own.
Yep.
You're going to work 6 days on your own. You're going to Sabbath on your own. You're going to set up one place of worship. Portable tabernacle would still be there, but you're going to set up one place of worship. And I want to see, are you going to do this thing as I asked you to do it? Or are you going to start living the way that the world lives or living in some sort of compromised fashion?
Yeah, I like to call that independently dependent. That, you know what I mean? That God he wants us independent, right? And that's what he's raised. But there's still always this dependence because it's relational again, right? So we're back to that relationship. He's teaching them, this is the form of worship. This is a life of worship toward me from moving forward on. And really what it was always supposed to be, right? From the garden, right? He's helping them. All of this is moving back what? Toward the garden, right? And yet we got to go through the Messiah to get there. But all this is leading toward that. And so, yeah, that independence, that's what we want to see in our kids. That, yes, we want to see our kids move, and that's what he's doing here. It's not good for anyone to be totally sustained that way. That there is this independence, but that dependence to remember, to honor, to worship, right? To honor mother and father is to remember their teaching, to remember to stay in relationship, to remember to just stay in a loving relationship. And that's what he's saying. He's like, I created you for relationship here, and this is going to continue, but this is what the relationship's going to look like now. Think they're moving from adolescence, right, to now adulthood relationship. Anyway, I could say a lot more than that, but yeah.
Faith is a choice.
That's right.
And I have said this now for, 5-6 years. Little play on words here.
Yeah.
I don't believe in choice anymore. I do not.
Yeah.
I don't believe as Christians you have a choice.
To honor, yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
Do I have free will?
Yes.
Of course I have free will. 100% I have free will.
Your choice has consequences.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a real relationship, there is no choice.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Relationship. Yep.
Like,
That's right.
My wife and I don't say, well, maybe we'll both get another person. Well, we'll still be married.
Yeah.
But Leslie, you get a boyfriend, I'll get a girlfriend.
Yep.
That's adultery.
Yep, that's right.
That's what that is.
That's not a choice.
No, it's not a choice.
Is it a choice? Yes. Is it a choice? No.
No, not when you legitimately give your life to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, no.
Yeah.
You've given your life to the Lord.
Yep.
It's all about the Father's will.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus was so clear about that, especially in the Gospel of
I'm
John.
here to do my Father's will.
Look, you think I'm doing this thing on my own?
Nope.
I'm here to do the Father's will and to finish
His
the work.
Yep.
It's Paul to the church at Ephesus.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be foolish.
Yeah.
Know what the Lord's will is.
That's right.
This is our obligation. It's Jesus, John 10:10. My sheep know my voice. Well, it's not 10:10. I mean, that's another verse. But in the 10th chapter of John, my sheep know my voice. Okay. And this is what God is telling Moses to tell them. Look, when I give you freedom and your right to choose absolutely opens up, you don't have to choose me.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be with me,
you got it. Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
and you have to live accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting in Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 5, you know, there's another discussion about worshiping other gods, which I find this so interesting. And we're going to talk about this a ton till the end of the book of Deuteronomy. A lot of the stuff that God is laying out here doesn't exist at this time, like leaving the edges of your field.
Mm-hmm.
He talks
They're not there
about
yet. Yep.
the fatherless, the widow, those impoverished.
Mm-hmm.
They're living in communal living at this point, you know?
They don't have their own land yet.
Nothing.
All this is prep for that.
No,
Yep.
it's. I mean, they're being sustained by God every day. They're all, you know, they know when they're worshiping. Everything is established for them, and so he has to say things like in Deuteronomy 13:3, the Lord your God is testing you to find out whether you love him with all your heart and with all your soul. Even before that, first 3 verses. If a prophet or one who foretells by dreams appears among you and announces to you a sign or a wonder, and if the sign or wonder spoken or takes place, and the prophet says, let us follow other gods you haven't known, and let us worship them, you must not listen to the words of that prophet or dreamer. For these folks at this point, that is not even in their frame of reference at this point, because all they've known is single-minded worship.
That's right.
And those who were faithless, they're dead.
Yep.
They're gone. He has birthed a faithful generation. And so I can imagine that these guys are looking at each other going, why would we do that?
Just wait till you get into the promised land.
Yeah.
Wait till you get satisfied, and then see if God's still a sustainer, right? Then see if God's still provider. Then see if God's still protector. Will you still trust me when you have everything you want? When you're eating of the good of the land?
Or when things go bad.
Yep, facts.
That's when Satan slips in and says, did God really say?
Yep.
Yeah, he did say. So you hit the bricks and get on out of here, because I'm not dealing with that.
That's right.
You know, and I'm not trying to, you know, I just think I think we're at a place in the world and in this age where single-mindedness, it can't be overstated. We are so divided, you know. I mean, I don't know. Here we're at nearly at the 15-minute mark, you know. And I just think through the rest of all of this, and as you read the Old Testament, they just don't get it. They come back for a little while, and then they leave. They come back for a little while, and they leave. It's just over.
It's us
and
too.
over.
It's the church too.
It's humanity.
Always, yep. It'll always be nothing new under the sun.
It's the default of humanity.
Yeah, it'll always be that. Yeah, individually and communally.
I'm like wired today. Deuteronomy 14. Tell me what this means. You're the children of the Lord your God. Deuteronomy 14:1. Do not cut yourselves or shave the front of your heads for the dead, for you are a people holy to the Lord your God. Here we go. Out of all the peoples on the face of the earth, the Lord has chosen you to be his treasured possession. What does that mean? That Israel is God's treasured possession.
Yeah, they're the means. They're the people group that the Messiah would come through. That through you, it's the fulfillment of Abraham still, that through you all nations will be blessed. And we are that today. The church is that today through Jesus Christ, the Messiah, who this is all pointing to, is that. We are the salt of the earth. We're the ones who influence. We're the ones who continue, to continue Jesus's ministry that he started. We're the ones we're who continue to be his hands, his feet, his mouthpiece, you name it. The incarnation now happens through the body of Christ. And the light, right? We're the ones that shine who he is, that share the gospel through life and through word. And so, that's what it means. They're his treasured possession, through whom salvation would come through to the nations, as Isaiah says. And today the church is his treasured possession in that sense, that we're treasured because we are the vessels through who the hope of the world. And that's what it is, right? Christ in us is the hope of glory. And so, some
people would say, now, wait a second. He's talking to Israel there, and you're talking about the church.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, just so you guys know, what Pastor James is saying is not wrong. I mean, it's not wrong in any way whatsoever. What happened was Israel forgot that God had said there will be one law for the native born and the sojourner among you.
That's right.
they thought
everybody.
treasured possession meant some sort of
Something we did,
Zionistic
our
thing.
righteousness.
That's right.
That's
Our
right, our
righteousness.
goodness.
All the rest of
And
you
he
guys
said,
are
nope.
out. And
Yep.
God was like, no.
That's not how this works.
That's what I said on Sunday morning, talking about Jesus,
Yep.
the people in the Nazareth synagogue.
Yeah.
He was talking about the inclusion of the Gentiles, and they said, whoa,
Yep.
wait a second. You need to die for that.
Yep.
Well, this is when it shifted. When Israel refused to welcome Gentiles, but let's be honest, primarily denied Jesus as Christ, then the shift occurred.
Yep.
And so now that's what Pastor James is talking about. While and Paul talks about this in the book of Romans. It's going to loop
so.
it's going to loop back around to Israel at some point. But for now, we the Gentile,
who's true Israel?
That's right.
Those put their faith in Jesus Christ. That's what
it.
Paul
and
says
that's
in
what John the
Romans.
Baptist says.
Yep.
You think just because
Because
you're
you-
born a
yeah, it
son
ain't
of
your
Abraham,
DNA.
that makes you a son of Abraham?
Yep.
No.
Not your DNA.
No, it's
Yep.
faith.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's why I always say
So
Christianity
faith to faith.
transcends culture.
Yeah, always.
It transcends culture. It
Yep.
transcends birth, all those things. So,
Yep.
guys, listen, this really, we're just opening up here to a much, much larger discussion. So hang with us through this book of Deuteronomy. There's so much here. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. God bless you guys. We'll see you in the morning.